What is Slake, YouTube? This is Juan from TheGamersMinistry, and today I bring to you Castlevania for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yes! This game was released by Konami on 1987, so that means that the ESRB didn't even exist then. So I'm assuming this game is probably like an E for fantasy violence or animated violence or something like that. But we play as this dude, the ultimate vampire hunter, Simon Belmont. And Simon Belmont and all this stuff, as you may have heard from Dracula and stuff like that, it's in Transylvania. Oh, there you go. If you jump over that door, you can find that bag right there. But yeah, so anything that you've ever heard of Dracula, Castlevania is based on that. And yeah, we're just pretty much a dude with a mighty whip, just whipping other dudes, whipping zombies, bats, and as you'll see in a second, we're about to whip dogs or cats. I'm not sure what that animal is. Yeah, I never knew. I think that's a cat, but I'm not entirely sure. Or I think it looks like a cat. It's not like a cat. And anyways, so yeah, pretty much this game is brilliant for 1987 when it was released. It it involved a lot of design choices that made it pretty cool to play, in the sense that it forces you to plan everything out ahead of time. Like, for example, there's a delay to your whip. Every time you jump, there's a fixed height to your jump. And these design choices are excellent for this game, because the way that the levels were designed is like everything feels planned out. A lot of this information that you're hearing is you probably heard of already from the sequelitis video from Raptor, and yeah, he uses a lot of profanity in his videos, so I'm just pretty much giving you a profanity clean version, I guess. But he's incredibly hilarious, incredibly talented young man. If you don't mind his use of language, then I recommend that you watch his videos. And as you saw right there, there's another hidden money bag in there that you can get for points. Let's see. So yeah, so here right now you have two weapons in this game. You have your whip, which is your primary, and you have form of secondary weapon, which comes in the form of a throwing knife or a clock, an axe, or holy water, or a cross. And these items, they have different uses. Like clock, as you may have noticed earlier, when I used it, it stopped time. Right now I have the axe. You can find the axe there, and the axe is something that we'll just use right now against this boss, which is pretty sweet. I believe I use all the items on this playthrough, so you can all get a feel for them. But yeah, so this dude right now, when you saw that number 2 numeral that I grabbed, that's a double shot, allowing me to fire both weapons, fire my secondary weapon 2 times while one is on the screen. You can still also fire a secondary shot, whereas if you don't have the double shot, you need to wait for the first weapon to completely disappear before you're able to fire it again. And yeah, so right now we just beat the first stage, we beat the first level, and we're on to stage 4. As you'll notice, some people say, oh, this game has 6 levels, well, or 6 stages. Not necessarily. It's more like 6 levels, and each level is composed of 3 stages. And there you can find a crown right there worth 2,000 points. And let's see, so yeah, as the stage counter increases, you start taking more damage from the enemies, because the enemies get stronger. And so yeah, for example, that bat right there, if he had hit us, he probably would have done like 2 points of damage. There's a double shot in there. And later on in the game, he'll probably do like 4 points of damage. So it's very important to always, mind your health, and know that eventually, although it might look like you have a lot of health now, eventually you just die in 4 hits, whereas now it might take a lot more, maybe 16, if you're constantly being hit with the 2-point damage things. And yeah, so this stage, let me tell you a little bit about my past. As a little kid, this game was hard, so hard, because you just simply plow through the game, man. It's very true. I used to play games like Mario or something like that, where you simply just constantly dashing towards the finish. And when you play Castlevania, you get wrecked. I mean, if you try to do that, you get stomped, man. Oh, there you go. If you wait on the 2 square platform for about 5 seconds, you can find that treasure chest that's also worth 2,000 points. But yeah, you get wrecked in this game, and this is probably the hardest part in stage 2 right there, because those Medusas are conveniently placed over those open pits, and yeah, if you make a mistake, you're gonna pay for it, buddy. And these knights are they're pretty easy. They just like die in 2 hits from your upgraded whip, so they're pretty easy to handle. I think it doesn't matter if you have an upgraded whip for these guys. I don't remember. But yeah, so now we have the clock again, and the clock is kind of useful for the next stage on this level, as you'll pretty soon see. Let's just open this, and you need to be careful because in this room there's Medusa heads, and Medusa heads, you need to be careful with them, because if you don't time your jumps properly and they hit you while you're in midair, you always get this knockback. Every time a monster hit you, you get knocked back, and there's always like a very conveniently placed open pit right next to you that just simply gets you every single time. So right there's some roasted chicken or pork chop according to the manual, so you need to be careful. So here's where the clock comes into play. You can freeze time and you can use it to navigate this pretty easily, but I failed right there to duck and I got hammered. So yeah, the second one you don't need to say you can duck and you'll avoid the hit. It's not so hard though, like you can just make it through very easily like that, see? And you don't get hit. For this one you want to dash through though, and as you progress a little bit forward, a ghost will come out, as you'll see. And yeah, just take care of that guy, don't ignore him, because he'll make things a lot harder for you. So anyway, the holy water we grab is ultra important, because if you grab this double shot right there, it's gonna make the boss a piece of cake. And yeah, just simply wail on these dudes to make your life a whole lot easier. And wait, yeah, just hold on, and boom, wail on him. Throw some holy water on him, and yeah, just wail on it. I love fighting those skeleton turrets. It's just, it feels so nice to wail on something. Yeah, you don't need to defeat that ghost. You can just simply keep going forward. You don't really, you can ignore him for all. There you go, triple shot. Oh, this boss is getting wrecked. Because the thing about the holy water has this unique property that the other secondary weapons don't have, and it's that it stuns the enemy in place. As you'll see, when they get hit. Oh, I mean, I don't think this is the first time you'll see an example of it, but when you hit the enemies, they'll dig a stun in place. Oh, by the way, do notice that the Medusa heads only did me 2 points of damage. So yeah, exactly. As you see right here, the enemy is stunned in place. They can't even move. If I was using like something like the cross or something, the cross boomerang, they would keep going. And that just makes it a lot harder. By having the triple shot, you can just simply keep firing holy water at them, and they'll stay in place and just simply keep accumulating damage. It's just destroy bosses. But on to the 3rd level. Here we go. This is probably one of my more favorite levels because of the music. The music is just so awesome. I really like it. Oh, so for these hunchbacks, just throw some holy water and they'll just fall into the holy water right there. For the first 2. For the 3rd one, I got like a different trick. But yeah, let me share this with you. I never beaten this game until, so for the last hunchback right there, you simply, once he gets to your little corner of the screen, just go scroll back and he'll automatically disappear. But anyway, I never beaten this game before as a kid. It was just so hard. The farthest I got to when I was like 6-year-old was to the Medusa stage. Then probably at the 7 years old or 8 years old, because I would stop playing for long periods of time. I got to this stage, the 3rd stage, and now that I'm a grown man, I finally made it to the 5th stage and to Dracula himself after a couple of tries. And I finally beat him not so long ago after I saw Nintendo Capri Sun beat him, and I was like, yes, I need to liberate myself. I need to beat this game legit. And yeah, just simply get that off my chest. That's something that I could not accomplish as a child. I went back to it as a man, and I did it. And I did. It took me like an hour the first time I got to, and I started fighting Dracula for real. And yeah, I beat him, but it took me like an hour though. Oh, by the way, right here, right where where I just stuck, right there on the left side of this platform, there's a hidden money bag for 1,000 points. I forgot how to make it appear. I really have no clue. I don't remember. The quatch right here, don't grab it. You don't need it. But there's 1,000 points there. I don't know how to make them show up. Oh yeah, that's something I did not know as a kid. The fireballs, you can destroy them with your whip. And it doesn't matter what kind of whip you have. If you have the upgraded the chain whip, or you have the leather whip, you can destroy the fireballs. When you're little and you play games like Mario or Sonic and you're thrown fireballs, their fireballs are thrown at you, you know, and you get used to trying to dodge them because you can't destroy them. And that's something that you know, Castlevania did differently, that you were able to destroy them. So as a kid, your first natural reaction is to dodge these things, and probably as a experienced gamer in those days. But Castlevania C is different. You can destroy these things, and just simply makes your whip the ultimate wrecking machine. But you need to kind of find that out, and it helps you, you know, helps you approach enemies faster, or how you handle certain situations. Because before you would just try to dodge, jump and hit. Yeah, there you go. So, but when you know that you can just simply stand up and you don't necessarily have to jump, because every time you jump, there's a fixed height to your jump. That you know, you can pay the price if you don't plan your jumps properly. But anyway, here although we took a couple hits, there's some chicken there. I paused there for no reason. But yeah, so these zombies, these zombies, what's wrong with me? These mummies, all you gotta do is just simply wail on them. Just simply keep wailing on them, and that should be it. If you have holy water, just throw them at them, and yeah, that should do the trick. But see, they're really easy. I've beaten them without holy water, so you don't really need holy water for these guys. Just have a decent amount of health and just keep hitting them until you can't stop. And this is probably as far as I ever made it when I was 8 years old. And yeah, man, this is so nice to see me now that I mean, nice to see me just simply play through the game so easily, so, you know, with a nice flow and not get interrupted or anything like that. When I was little, I would just like take 2 steps and reassess my situation, and I am not kidding. So, and that's how this game plays. I remember when I saw Simon Belmont flying down through the pit the first time. I was like, oh my god, what's happening? Where am I going? What's going on? It was like, you know, it was pretty much equivalent to a cutscene right there where you were watching that. And how do I even say this? It was so exciting to see that as a kid. It's like, wow, you know, like Ninja Gaiden really brought it up with when it comes to cutscenes in games. And I'm happy for that, because it kind of made every other software development company step up their game when it came to cutscenes. But yeah, so this is pretty much what I'm doing right now. You need to duck under these things when you saw me duck, because if not, I guess the background will push you off the platform. It's like if it was invisible. It's pretty much those columns, or stalactites or stalagmites, I don't know what you call them in English, but they pretty much work as, or function as, walls. So all these hunchbacks, as you go towards the final trench of this stage, you want to defeat them as soon as they land. You don't want to even give them a chance to land, because they will wreck you. They will make you lose so much health, and there's only one more chicken between here and the end, and you want to keep that chicken in case you get hit later on. But yeah, just do that. Sometimes they'll drop like the invisibility potion that we saw from the first stage, and that kind of helps. If you grab that, just plow forward. Oh yeah, and this monster right here, this bone snake monster, you can just simply avoid by just walking towards the door. If you saw Nintendo Capri Sun's Let's Play, I noticed that he didn't do that, so this is something you can do to avoid him. And do not whip the second candle. The second candle right there, that has a throwing knife, and you do not want that. That is certainly what you do not want for this boss. So yeah, anyway, so these guys, oh, my double shot, I wasn't able to grab it there, but you don't really need it for this boss either, but for later bosses you do. It's critical, it's important. But yes, so what was I saying now? I forgot. But oh yeah, so for these bosses, something very interesting to know about your whip is that it has, like, you see the range right there of how much it can hit, but that's not entirely true. You can hit monsters a little bit farther than that. You have, like, say about 3 or 5 more pixels. So it really helps when it comes to hitting monsters. Like if you can really do some fancy and well thought out spacing. So yeah, right now just simply throw the holy water at the Frankenstein to take care of him. The hunchback that you see, they call him Igor, and he's really annoying. He just flies all over the place. throwing fireballs at you. So if you do not defeat Frankenstein on your first try by just throwing the holy water at him, then you're probably going to restart and you're going to have to be forced to grab the knife as a secondary item since your secondary weapon will be lost. And that is hard, dude. Anyway, I'll talk more about that in the next video. See you guys. Bye.